People like you at the bottom rung are probably going to hurt our business performance again.
The general manager of the branch, who had been transferred from the head office, ridiculed and berated me with a condescending smirk. I couldn't say anything back. Due to the sheer stupidity of this general manager, why doesn't he realize that the branch's poor performance is his own fault? I was so appalled by his idiocy that I couldn't find any words to respond. Then, a year after I joined the branch, "You're fired."
Excuse me.
I revolted against the general manager who had ridiculed me time and again. My name is David Thompson. One day, I received a directive from the head office. It was about transferring to the branch. I was surprised by the sudden order, but couldn't oppose the decision of the head office. Reluctantly, I decided to go to the branch. First, I went to greet Mr. Johnson, the general manager. "Hello, I've just arrived from the head office. My name is Thompson. Nice to meet you." As I introduced myself, the general manager let out an exaggerated sigh.
I've heard the rumors. In the head office, full of elites, you couldn't get on the promotion track and are treated as useless, right?
What? He slammed my resume, sent from the head office, onto the desk.
And you only have a high school diploma. Does the head office think of this branch as a trash can or something?
Excuse me, a trash can?
Sitting a dead weight like you here is a nuisance.
Then, with a condescending smirk, he said,
People like you at the bottom rung are probably going to hurt our performance again.
"True, this branch's performance has been deteriorating for several years. Being told by the general manager himself that my presence would further harm the performance left me stunned and lost for words. Afterwards, I managed to say excuse me to the general manager and headed to my new department, sales. The person who welcomed me there was the head of the sales department, Mr. Roberts.
If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask.
"Thank you, sir." I pride myself on being a good judge of character, and I could immediately tell that Mr. Roberts was a decent man, unlike the general manager. Mr. Roberts was kind to me, an unfamiliar figure suddenly sent from the head office. I pride myself on being a good judge of character, and I could immediately tell that Mr. Roberts was a decent man, unlike the general manager.
Hey, I heard you're barely on time even though you're new here.
No, I made it by the start time.
For newcomers, being 30 minutes early is the basic rule. You don't even know that. This is why you're at the bottom.
It seems the general manager has a lot of free time, as he often comes to the sales department just to berate me.
I heard you were using your smartphone during work hours.
I'm sorry, I had an urgent message.
Also, you seem to be daydreaming a lot. Are you taking your job lightly?
The general manager's voice echoed loudly throughout the sales department. That's when Mr. Roberts stepped in to defend me.
Mr. Johnson, that's enough.
Are you challenging me?
Admittedly, David is a bit relaxed or laid back, shall we say.
Mr. Roberts tried to defend me, though his words weren't exactly flattering.
But he is very serious about his work. He's not slacking off. Please be patient with him.
However, Mr. Johnson responded by clicking his tongue.
I'll let it slide this time. But Roberts, if you continue to cover for that incompetence, you better be prepared.
With deliberately loud footsteps, Johnson left the room. I immediately apologized to Mr. Roberts. "I'm sorry, it was because of me."
It's all right, but it'd be great if you can ease up a bit on being so laid back, just so the general manager doesn't keep an eye on you.
Roberts chuckled. It was true, I was quite relaxed in my approach to work. Checking my phone during work hours and daydreaming was, as the CEO said, unacceptable. So, the general manager had a point, but
Well, Johnson doesn't like me neither.
Mr. Roberts, you're competent unlike me, right?
If the general manager doesn't like you, it doesn't matter if you can or can't do your job. Seems I just don't click with him.
Roberts is kind to everyone and observant. On the other hand, Johnson changes his attitude based on his mood. Indeed, it's hard to imagine these two polar opposites getting along. I'll work hard for you, not for the general manager.
Ha, I appreciate that. You really have thick skin, huh? Taking those words from the general manager without flinching.
Really, it did hurt quite a bit.
It doesn't look like it.
We chatted a bit more before getting back to work, and I began preparations to implement a certain plan. A year after my transfer to the branch office,
Thompson, well done.
returning from a client meeting, I was greeted with applause from the sales team.
It's the highest contract the branch has ever gotten. Great job, Thompson.
It's all thanks to Mr. Roberts' support. Thank you. It's not just modesty. Thanks to Roberts' extensive support, I was able to secure the contract. Without him, the deal would have been much harder to close.
Right, the general manager was asking for you.
The general manager,
Yo, sorry to ruin your good mood, but can you head to his office? If anything happens, call me immediately.
thank you. Roberts looked genuinely concerned. In response, I gave a wry smile and headed to the general manager's office.
Well done, Thompson. Our branch performance is going up.
For once, the usually critical general manager was in a good mood, praising me.
It's all thanks to my guidance. It proves that even a bottom-tier employee like you can achieve this. This will surely boost my reputation at the HQ.
His cheerfulness wasn't about my successful negotiation. It was about how it would elevate his own status. Even with this success, he hasn't changed his attitude towards me.
By the way, I'm thinking of promoting you to supervisor because of this. Happy, aren't you? Show some gratitude for my generous decision.
The general manager smirked. To which I replied, well, not really.
What?
I don't need a supervisor position here at the branch. I've got a director seat waiting for me at HQ. The general manager was caught off guard by this unexpected reply and was left speechless. Deciding to go for the final blow, I added, by the way, you're fired. Here's the letter of termination from HQ.
What?
Reacting swiftly, he grabbed the paper I presented. He stared intently at it, and slowly, his face turned blue.
Who the hell are you?
Why would a mere employee have a directive from the headquarters? He must be wondering. That's when I revealed my true identity to the boss and the reason I came to the branch office. My name is David Thompson. I'm the assistant HR director from the headquarters. I came to this branch to expose your wrongdoings. That's right, I'm not just any ordinary employee. If the folks from the headquarters consider themselves elite, then I'm one of those elites too. The resume I handed to the boss was a complete fabrication. I graduated from a top-tier university in the States, and those rumors the boss heard, I made them up before coming to this branch. I covered myself in lies to ensure the boss didn't get suspicious of me. I was sent here on a direct order from the top executives at the headquarters. My mission: to investigate the cause of the branch's poor performance and to verify claims of power harassment from the branch manager. At first, I had two different objectives, but in the end, these two were connected. The fact was that the boss was embezzling company funds, and he fired those who pointed out this fact to silence them. Those who resisted were either fired or faced some kind of disciplinary action. If the boss didn't like someone, even if they were a valuable asset, he'd deal with them ruthlessly. As a result, only yes men remained around the boss. A branch lacking in talent will eventually fail. The person who reported power harassment by the branch manager was one of the employees who had been disciplined for standing up to him. The branch was under the boss's thumb, with his cronies watching everywhere. Gathering this much evidence amidst all this was quite a work. I pretended to be incompetent to avoid drawing attention from the boss's faction. And there was another reason: to protect Mr. Roberts. Calling him the last shred of goodwill left in this company wouldn't be an exaggeration. All the staffs with title were either part of the boss's faction or simply turned a blind eye. Without a talented individual like Mr. Roberts, this branch is doomed. So, I acted like an incompetent, drawing the boss's attention away from Roberts. Being from the headquarters, he couldn't just fire me, which must have frustrated him. But even as I acted incompetent, I was gathering evidence of the boss's misdeeds. The reason I was always on my phone at work was to communicate with individuals who were against the boss, introduced to me by Roberts, to collect the evidence. To the boss, I might have looked spaced out, but I was carefully observing everyone's behavior in the office. I needed to discern who was a friend and who was an enemy. Being habitually late, well, that's on me. My low blood pressure makes mornings tough. Despite trying hard for a year, I could never get to work early. But let's put that aside. I expanded my network in the branch, recruited allies, and gathered evidence of the boss's wrongdoings. After reporting to the headquarters, they decided to fire the branch manager. So would you mind stepping down from that chair? It's not meant for you. Someone more deserving should sit there. The boss was shaking uncontrollably. Whether out of anger or fear, I couldn't tell.
This is an unjust decision.
I bet the people you fired felt the same way.
I'll sue you.
Be my guest. The headquarters is preparing legal action against you. How much company money did you spend? You'll repay all of it. You know our company's attorney is top-notch, right? The boss's face turned from blue to pale. If he had to repay all the money he'd taken, even selling off all his personal assets wouldn't be enough. I continued pressing him. By the way, it seems the employees you fired are preparing to sue you. The headquarters is fully supporting this. Chances of you winning are pretty slim, don't you think? The number of people that he fired wasn't just one or two. If he gets sued for emotional distress, it'll be the end for him. But it's all his own doing. Good work, sir. Perhaps unable to bear the reality presented to him, the general manager slowly slid off his chair. After that, I wrapped up my work and safely returned to the main office. Because of my accomplishments this time, I got promoted to department head. Roberts, who had come to know of my true intentions and identity, asked me to stay at the branch. I'm leaving the branch in your hands, Roberts. You're the next general manager.
What?
It's an order from the headquarters. You wouldn't refuse, would you? I had reported not only the general manager's misdeeds, but also Roberts's contributions to the main office. As a result, the position was now Roberts's to fill. Roberts seemed shocked at first, but he soon gave a reassuring smile.
All right, leave the branch to me. Take care of the headquarters.
Sure. Oh, by the way, that contract is a parting gift from me. Please use it as a foundation to rebuild the branch. Then, Roberts replied with a wry smile. If you put in the effort, you'd probably get the branch back on track in no time. I'm at the main office and Roberts is at the branch. Though we're far apart, we share the same vision of improving the company, and we continue to push forward every day,